All right, so it is not the next day rather, but it is Monday. Things came up yesterday. I wasn't able, unfortunately, to get out here and get this finished, but it is now Monday, and we're going to be done. I did a little research on it. If you could see right up here where this bolt is out of this hole, there's a bracket right there. Okay, that bracket is held in by 4 bolts. If the axle has rusted itself where that bearing is and it doesn't want to slide out, I will have to take that bracket off. The goal is to be able to pull it out and not have to deal with that, but worst case scenario, that's what we're going to have to do. Outside of that, it was pretty much the same thing as the other side. You take these 2 bolts out of the strut and the spindle assembly. You get your brake lines loose. You get your ABS loose. And your axle nut and your cotter pin. And once you get all that done, this should come straight out. And the goal is we're going to pull this out. So we'll get this sat down and see what we can do here. So as I suspected, that bracket is a piece of shit. Water displacing it, trying to get it to let loose.
There you go.
All right, we'll let her soak for a minute, see what happens.
Alright, I get to work.
All right, thanks for the help, Chad.
Yeah.
The internet loves you.
Yeah, right.
You're my favorite guest on the show so far.
Nuh-uh.
Huh?
What do you mean?
Like on the vlog, you're the favorite. Like everybody comments how you're the best. Are you the favorite? Thumbs up, Chad. He has no idea that nobody comments on this page. So we got this off the little cover. If you can see up underneath here now a little bit better. This bracket right here, it needs to come out of this. We're gonna get this car done today. All right, day 3, final day. So we got the bracket off. Calling it an axle bearing bracket because I do not know what it's called, but I was able to get it off. It was an absolute nightmare. Get back in here and see if you can see it. There, it looks like an O2 sensor right there coming out of my exhaust. Was like right in the way for that last bolt. With the axle in there, it made it an absolute nightmare. It was very difficult to mess with. But I got it out, got the axle out. I took it out and I actually was able to to smack it on the ground a couple times, and the bracket slid right off. There is a little bit of damage. I do not think this was caused by me trying to take this out. This bearing, I think, was just about done. It may be at the end of this video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these boots off and see if I can figure out where my clicking was coming from. But the axle is out. I'm going to go ahead and get the camera set up here. We'll get the other axle in, I went ahead and WD-40'd the inside of where that bearing sits. I also did take 800 grit sandpaper to it, and kind of cleaned up all the surface rust. Cleaned up really well. I wiped it down, and then I sprayed it with some WD-40. So, excuse me. Hopefully, this other axle is going to slide right in. I did check the seal where the axle slides into the transmission. Does not look like I broke it or damaged it at all, so we're going to let that go. We're going to slide her in, hopefully not tear it up anymore. Get it back together. We'll get some transmission fluid in it and go for a drive. So I do want to mention that I am using the old axle nut versus the new nut. That being because the old axle nut actually has the washer kind of built into it. The new nut did not come with a washer. I don't know if I mentioned this in the other video when I did the first side, but the guys kind of were talking about it like it wasn't a good idea to not have that little lip and that washer on there. So we're going to go ahead and use the old one. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and get this on here, get it torqued down, get the tires on it, and get some transmission fluid in. And then we're going to go for a ride. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Altima is running. We have both the wheels on. We have them torqued to the proper spec, and she lives. I do have to wait on my wife to get home. She is going to be bringing me some transmission fluid, so we can get her, you know, where she's supposed to be, because I did lose about a quart, give or take, when I pulled the axles out. We'll get that in there, and then really take her for a drive. I did go up and down just right here in the driveway real quick to make sure, you know, there was no weird sounds. I want to make sure everything, my transmission still felt smooth when it engaged. When it rolled, there was no clicking or popping, anything of those, you know, to that nature. So, but she's done. She's ready to go. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get the oil changed real quick here too. She sounds a little rough. It's been several months. I think the coupe's been sitting since the first week of November is when it started popping. So it's been a little bit. That oil is probably old. I need to get this gas out of it too. It's got about a quarter tank of old gas. I'll probably go down and get some premium, $10-20, just to kind of get it mixed in there and get a little better gas flowing through it. But other than that, she's good to go. I'll take her for a drive later on tonight, make sure everything's really good. I've been talking to Vito. Got a little bit of something coming his way for his vehicle. That'll be pretty interesting. I think he said it will be here tomorrow. He works through the week. He has an overnight shift, so we're going to try and this weekend get that installed. That'll be a pretty solid modification to his car. Our buddy Nathan also just got a port for his car, so we're going to go ahead and do a review sometime this week, try and make that happen too. He has a WRX STI, so we should be checking that out, and hopefully in the next week or two. The weather's still been kind of crap here. We just had a whole lot of snow that came through over the weekend when we were out of town, but then the next day it's 55 and almost 60 degrees, so everything's a mess. It's really rainy, it's really wet. Hopefully the track will be opening up here this weekend, so maybe we'll be going down there as well. If that's the case, once I get transmission fluid and everything back into my car, Vito might be taking his as well. If we can get that mod done, that'd be really great to take that up there, possibly even run it before the mod and be able to take it again next week and then see how well that mod worked. So that'd be really good to have that baseline. But other than that, I think that's going to be it for this week. Go ahead and make sure you find us on Instagram. It is the exact same as the YouTube channel, Tri-State Slow Junk. With that, if you like what we're doing, give us a subscribe, give us a like, and we will see you later. Take it easy.